And this week's quote comes from someone who's a bit of a polarizing figure in the financial world, I feel like. But I love this quote by Suze Orman, who, of course, used to have her own show on the old TV machine. She's written some books and is a podcast host, I believe, these days. But Suze Orman once said, "A big part of financial freedom is having your heart and mind free from worry about the what ifs of life." That is very profound. Love or hate Suze Orman and her opinions about a lot of different things. That is some wisdom right there.
Yeah, Matt, I don't always agree with everything that Susie says. This happens to be one of the things that I absolutely agree with. Okay. Pre retirees as well as retirees often face a wide range of what if questions as they prepare and adjust to retirement. And so those questions typically revolve around financial security, around health, around lifestyle changes. And so I've broken them down into kind of 5 categories. And the first, most common of the what ifs out there have to deal with financial concerns, right? What if I run out of money? What if my investments don't perform as I expected them to? What if I face unexpected expenses like healthcare costs or home repairs? What if inflation, which has been such a buzzword over the last few years, erodes my purchasing power? And then what if I need long-term care and can't afford it? What do you think about those, Matt? Those financial what ifs?
Yeah, those are huge. And, I mean, so many of them are those things that we just cannot control. Really, kind of all of them are those things that we can't control, especially things like inflation and if what the market does and things like that. I mean, that's why it's so important, I feel like, but in life in general and in your financial life, to control the things that you can and not let the things that you can't control just rule the day and kind of ruin your life and ruin your mood all the time.
Right. I mean, there's only so many things that you can do when it comes to the financial what ifs. I mean, you can try to make more money, right? Whether that's taking on a second job or a part-time job, or maybe it's as simple as asking for a raise. So many people fail to do that. But, financial concerns, those are big, huge what ifs. And that's why they lead off, this particular category segment, right? The second of the what ifs center around health and the longevity. So those could be what ifs like, hey, you know what? What if my health declines? Or what if I live longer than I expect and then my savings don't last as long as I do, right? That could be a huge what if. What if I or my spouse need expensive medical treatments, okay? And then what if I become dependent on others for care? My activities of daily living have become so diminished that I can't perform them by myself. So that health and longevity, that's the second set of huge what if questions that we'd like to address.
Yeah. And those are the things too that, obviously you can't control, how long, you can have an effect on it, but how long you live. But if you could obviously walk out and get hit by a bus at any moment. But the other, the
I
other,
hope not.
right. But not to put a damper on the conversation or anything. But I mean, it could happen. So what do you do? Well, you plan for all of the, different scenarios that could happen. And there are ways to do that, to guarantee income no matter how long you live, to make sure that if you were to die too soon, like if you were to walk out and get hit by a bus, for example, your family, your loved ones are taken care of after that, unfortunately, God forbid, happens. So, yeah, I mean, there are ways to plan for all of those different what ifs.
Yeah, and then again, and this should be common sense, but then I've said all along that common sense is no longer common these days, right? But I mean, you can do simple things like drinking more water. Okay, that's pretty simple. You can exercise, just go out on a walk. Try to walk for at least an hour a day, something like that. You can eat healthier. I mean, those are the things that you do have control over that hopefully will produce that longevity that you're looking for. Okay, and the third category is lifestyle and just identity crises, right? What if I get bored or I lose my sense of purpose? That's a huge one. What if I don't enjoy retirement as much as I thought I would? I talk to people all the time who, after the first 8 to 12 weeks of retirement, they are literally getting bored and have lost their sense of purpose, right? What if I miss the social interaction and the routine of going to work? And then what if my relationships change, especially with my spouse or family? Those little things that used to be cute because you only saw your spouse maybe 4 hours a day. Now that you're retired and you're in each other's grill 24 hours a day, that might get a little old after a while and grate on people's nerves. So these are absolute, concerning what ifs that could potentially happen to folks.
Yeah, and I love it. It's like, oh, I used to love the way that would make that sound when something was stuck in your teeth or whatever, and now it's like, oh my God, could you never do that again?
Oh, that one hit home for me because my wife cannot stand chewing noises.
Oh yeah,
And I was
I
like,
get that.
Just make soft foods for me for the rest of my life then, I guess. I don't know.
Right? Nothing crunchy, nothing. Just everything in milkshake form will be great.
That's hilarious. The fourth category would be the what ifs that concern legacy and family. What if I don't leave enough money for my children or my grandchildren? Some folks actually want to do that. Here's a big one. What if my estate isn't properly managed or causes family conflict? And then what if, probably the biggest one in this one, what if my spouse isn't financially secure after I'm gone, Matt?
Yeah, that one is just huge. And I mean, it's again, all of these different things are things that you can plan for. But even whether or not no matter how long, I guess I should say, no matter how long you live, no matter how much you have in the market and the market crashes and all that stuff, if you have a plan in place going in, and if you have your assets properly managed, and your insurance all up to date and taken care of, and the proper amount of insurance, all of those things, I mean, you can really alleviate some of those fears. I mean, just to take the what ifs off the table,
Mhm.
it has got to, that in and of itself can provide, I think, more longevity for a lot of people, because it reduces your stress. And if you reduce your stress, you improve your health, you live longer. So it's like,
Yeah.
it all operates in a circle. None of these things happen on an island.
No doubt. And I think the second biggest one in that category is the what if my estate isn't properly managed or causes family conflict, right? There are things that you can do. Like if you don't have a healthcare power of attorney or a medical directive or something as simple as a will, okay, we can help you find the professional, link you up, because we've got folks on our team that handle that for you. So if that is of interest to you, then definitely want to give us a call. And then the last category are things that are unforeseen life changes. What if the economy does crash, or there is another financial crisis like what happened, or similarly to what happened in either 2008 or in 2020 with the global pandemic, or if we go all the way back to 1987 with Black Monday? What if I need to move, or I need to downsize and can't sell my home? Or what if there are changes in government benefits like Social Security and Medicare? Okay, those are some pretty big potential unforeseen life changes, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, really, very much the case. And you were just talking about your daughter, of course, now living in Washington. When it comes to the things that affect us out of Washington, really and truly, anything can happen. And I don't believe that there are going to be letting the Social Security Trust Fund completely run out of money and then take